What's going on, everybody? It's Royalty Crypto here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at one of my personal favorite layer ones in the space, that being SEI. I'm also going to look at the overall crypto market as a whole and go over a catalyst that could potentially make Q4 bullish for Bitcoin and crypto. So you're definitely not going to want to miss that. Also, guys, this is a brand new YouTube channel, so if you like crypto and investing, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. But without further ado, let's take a look at this market. So as you guys can see here, Bitcoin is trading at 84,500. So it's about the same price as it was yesterday at this time, which is good to see. Honestly, at this point, as long as we're not nuking to the downside, I'm happy. And it does seem like we could potentially have found a bottom around 81,000, although it is impossible to predict that in the short term. So I won't say that with certainty. However, the lower we go, the more likely it is that we found a bottom. And personally, guys, I am dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin right now because I do believe that even if we do continue to fall, the 84,000 is a fantastic price in the long term, and I am a long-term investor when it comes to Bitcoin. But yeah, I don't want to talk about any of the other top 10 altcoin prices just because I do believe they are following what Bitcoin does. So let's go ahead and dive right on into the SEI chart. So as you guys can see, SEI is currently trading at 13 cents, which is equivalent to just over an $800 million market cap. We have a somewhat lower volume than usual today at 84 million. I think that is just because it's Saturday and there's just not very much trading going on the weekends. However, guys, one of my favorite things about this project in particular is that their volume is typically very high for a coin that's under a $1 billion market cap. And in my opinion, that does go to show that it has a very strong community and a lot of attention around it. And guys, whenever I post a video on YouTube about SEI, it does seem like that video does incredibly well. And I can just tell that the people that are invested into SEI are very passionate about this coin. And that does make me very bullish on a project like this. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the SEI chart. So when you flip on over to market cap, you can see that this project peaked in late November of 2024 at just under a $3 billion market cap. Now, I undoubtedly think that SEI will get back to those levels at some point in the near future, but the altcoin sentiment will need to flip much more bullish before then. Right now, the sentiment in the altcoin space is that altcoins are dead and the majority of them will never recover outside of maybe some in the top 10. But guys, every single time we see this level of weakness in the market, and you can see just how weak the sentiment is as we are currently sitting at a 10 out of 100. This is always what people start to say. They always say that altcoins are dead, but guys, that is just not the reality, because what happens is when Bitcoin starts to go back up and when people start to focus on crypto yet again, there will always be people that say, you know what, Bitcoin is just a bit too expensive for me. I'd rather try to find something with a lower market cap that could actually make me some generational wealth. Because Bitcoin can make you generational wealth over a long period of time, but it certainly won't make you rich overnight, especially if you're working with like $10,000 or even less. And that's why we always see FOMO come back into the altcoin space. So, in my opinion, guys, and this is not financial advice, of course, but whenever the sentiment is this low, I think it's a great time to be accumulating quality projects like SEI. Alright guys, so now I wanted to take a look at a couple of different news stories related to SEI. So as you can see here, we actually do have a staked ETF waiting for approval right now. The Canary Staked SEI ETF has appeared on the DTCC's active/pre-launch list on November 14th, which is a necessary step towards potential SEC approval. So in my opinion, guys, it is much more likely than not that the SEC will end up approving this ETF at some point, just because of how pro-crypto this current administration is, and I just don't see why they would deny an ETF for a very promising layer 1 blockchain like SEI. Also, guys, this was very interesting in my opinion. Both OKX and Binance have decided to become validators for SEI. In my opinion, this adds so much legitimacy to this project, and I think that this is very bullish for the long term, especially since Binance is basically the largest exchange in the world. Also, guys, last but not least, in fact, this might be the most important, SEI is preparing for its Giga upgrade, which is expected to deliver a 50x improvement in EVM, aka Ethereum Virtual Machine, throughput by optimizing execution, consensus, and storage. And this will actually be increasing the speed of the blockchain and reducing the fees per transaction, and it will be competing with other layer ones like SUI, which is basically the best of the best when it comes to layer 1 blockchain technology. So let's go ahead and take a look at the SUI chart just briefly. As you guys can see, just a couple of months ago, SUI actually did reach a $14 billion market cap, and that was in times when altcoins weren't even really performing that well. So in my opinion, if we do get a real parabolic bull run, I think SUI could easily get to like 40 to 50 billion. Like, that is definitely in the cards in my opinion. And as long as this Giga upgrade goes according to plan for SEI and its blockchain technology is equivalent, if not better than SUI's, I could easily see this project getting to at least a $15 to $20 billion market cap, if not much higher. And if we did even get to a $20 billion market cap, we're looking at almost a 25x from these levels. So guys, it is risky investing into lower cap altcoins like SEI, but in my opinion, the risk to reward for this project in particular is one of the best in the entire space. And that is why I am personally dollar cost averaging into SEI at these levels. And if we continue to drop, I am going to continue to buy, unless of course there is something that changes drastically in the fundamentals of this project. So alright guys, I did want to take a look at one catalyst that I do believe could end up flipping crypto and Bitcoin bullish for Q4 of this year. So as you guys can see, the odds of a December rate cut increased yesterday due to comments from the New York Fed President John Williams, who stated that he sees room for a further adjustment in the near term and that the monetary policy is still modestly restrictive. His remarks, coming from a high-ranking official, shifted market sentiment and boosted investor confidence in a potential cut at the December FOMC meeting. And one other thing that I did want to note about this, guys, is Williams is considered one of the more hawkish officials. So the fact that he is saying this actually does carry a lot of weight. And as you guys can see here, the odds of a rate cut have actually increased to 71% now. And just a few days ago, we were actually sitting at a 30 to 35% chance that we would get a rate cut. So this is incredibly bullish for the short term for risk on assets. And this meeting is just 18 days away now. So if we continue to trend upwards towards a guarantee that we will get this rate cut, I do believe that the crypto and stock market will start to price this in, and that could solidify the bottom for Bitcoin being in at around $82,000. And guys, as I said earlier, if Bitcoin starts to perform well, the overall altcoin space will start to perform well. So yeah, if you guys aren't holding Bitcoin or aren't really interested in it to begin with, you should still at least be rooting for the price to trend upwards because it will help your altcoin bags tremendously. But alright guys, so that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will be talking to you guys tomorrow. Peace.